Hello, hello. Welcome back, beautiful souls. I am excited to do this reading tonight. I've been getting a lot of messages from dragons today, which is really interesting. I was guided to go out into the back of our pasture, and then I was nudged to go beyond it and check out the trees that were back there. And there's some really cool trees back there, but they started speaking to me about these lands, especially over here in the Appalachian area. These lands, anything coming off of them, and the dragons. So I'm going to do a reading to kind of see what's going on and see what our ancestors are trying to let us know about this energy that's coming through. There's definitely been a lot going on, and I've heard that dragons are super protective. So I feel like there is something coming in that they're going to be around more for, and I would just kind of like to see what our ancestors, our guides, and what Source can offer to us while we navigate this, because this seems very exciting. That's a lot of what I've been getting today is excitement. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and get started. The deck, one thing, I am going to use the books for decks as I'm guided. I'm gonna, that's what I'm getting today. There's a lot of messages in some of these books that we need. So the first deck I'm gonna start with is Fantastical Creatures Tarot. I don't know if you can see that. There's a dragon on the front, which I thought was really fitting. I am doing this reading outside today because that is also something I was guided to do. Right now I hear a lot of frogs and crickets, and the fountains from our pool are running, so it's very peaceful out here. I can see Venus. And there was a whippoorwill going, and then as I sat down and started getting set up, it disappeared. So it obviously was not necessary for this reading, which is very interesting, actually. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Source of infinite intelligence, O divine mind of all that is. Thank you so much for these nudges that you've been pushing for me, and these messages that will come through for all of us as we navigate these new energies. Ancestors that are here to guide us towards our highest light frequencies through our deepest unconditional love paths. We ask that you are here for this message to help interpret what's going on with these dragon energies. All right, so what is going on here? Like, what energies are we getting in? What is going on? I'll take a few cards here. What energies are coming in? There's so many that are popping out right now. What energies are coming in for what we have going on right now? I think I'll take one more card if it comes. That seems right. Okay. All right. So we've got the Knight of Cups. Looks like, almost looks like Poseidon, but it's not. There is a phoenix in the background here. And there's fish, a lot of Pisces energy in this card. Fish are leading the chariot. All right, Queen of Cups, beautiful. Beautiful, she's in the flow with the fish, or the fish are in the flow with her, probably would be a better way said. Look at all that energy she has flowing through her. Like her Kundalini is like totally activated. Oh, yeah, really cool. Eight of Cups. Lots of cups. Whoa. A lot of water coming in. A lot of water coming in. Look, there's a lot going on. Look at all the spirits in there. And the stars in the back. There's a lot going on here. And then the Six of Swords. Oh. Wow, it's like I don't know, that's crazy. Like the swords are coming at the phoenix. And there's roses in there too. But the fire's already going, like the rebirth is already happening. Look at the spiral in there. There's a couple spirals in there. So there's karmic patterns, opportunities here to break through them, to rise above them. Huh, interesting. Okay. All right. So I definitely am going to read, the frogs are really loud now. I'm definitely going to read from this book because there's a lot, like, and I started getting more as I started reading this first one. So this dragon energy that's coming in with this Knight of Cups. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is Manannán mac Lir, which is the main sea god of the ancient Celtic pantheon. Son of the oldest sea god Lir, Manannán was a shapeshifter whose magical protective armor made him invisible. I have to stop here for a second. So when I was getting ready to do this reading, I walked by my mom and she saw, oh, can't see that, she saw this, which is really what she saw. She's like, karma cards. And she started singing Karma Chameleon, which I I started singing it too because I enjoy that song. And when I think about Karma Chameleon, I think about someone who's able to shift through karma. They take the karma and they transmute it. They take the karma and they shift it into their good. Now I'm hearing no weapon formed against you shall prosper. And now I'm hearing another, this is a lyric from a song. You took what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. So right now you're taking these karmic this dragon energy coming in is going to help you take these karmic situations and spin them, immediately help you spin them for your good if you take yourself back into your center. When Manannán rode through the ocean waves, his vessel was powered only by the energy of the sea itself. Yeah, come back to center. In this card, Manannán rides his magical sea chariot over the foaming waves. The silvery salmon swimming around him symbolize his ancient wisdom and knowledge. This card represents situations and a message of love or a proposal may be coming your way. And the real one that stood out here is you may be so deeply involved with someone that you don't see clearly. And so this Knight of Cups energy coming in with this dragon energy is going to help you start to see the truth about the love you have for people. Is it truly love? Is it something where you are looking for what they can do to help you or benefit you? Or is it love in which you're looking to see how you can help or benefit them to aid them towards their happiness? There is a major difference here. So it's going to start to help you see the truth of the love that you have for people. And that's going to be beautiful. Oh, wow, that's cool. All right. So this Queen of Cups energy. This mermaid. I just saw The Little Mermaid today. And I loved it. I loved the original version too. The original Disney version. But I loved it. I thought that the way they set it up and did it was perfect. Yes, mermaid energy. This beautiful mermaid navigates the great sea of emotions with confidence and power. So this dragon energy is going to give you a better opportunity at navigating your emotions, which should be really cool for someone like me. Actually, I've been feeling that in the last few days where I've been able to navigate things a little bit easier than I have in the past. So that's really neat. Her spiritual light shines over her like a giant halo. Encircling her are many little fish, ancient symbols of divinatory messages. Yeah, that Piscean energy. The coral and seaweed represent emotional openness and the playful inner child and the ability to attract true love. Wow. And we were just talking about this one where it's going to give you an opportunity to see the truth in how you love someone, or everyone really, how you love in general. Oh, there's a little green bug on me. Hello, bug. We've got a friend. The bubbles resembling stars in the night sky circle around the mermaid like moons around a planet. Oh, yes. The stars signify other lifetimes, spiritual progress of souls, and the ultimate connection we have with the goddess and the god. Okay, so what I'm getting here is that you're going to start being able to more easily tap into the frequencies in which your other lives reside. I don't want to say past lives because really, like, it's all happening. Everything is always occurring at all times. Like, all things are always occurring at all times. And that means that nothing is really in the past or the future. Everything's now. Everything's now. But what that means in our experience is that it's happening on a different frequency. It's happening on a different frequency. And so a lot of you have been here many, 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 many times so that you can, at this point in time, tap into what it is you have learned in the past. You're also that coming up, you're also going to have, the lessons that you had to work through or didn't work through well or whatever it is that are coming up because these things are lining up. We are a spiral galaxy, so things are always going around and around. So things are lining up again. Here we are. And so you're going back to this Knight of Cups energy. You're going to be able to navigate that more easily. So you're going to start your psychic abilities. Yes, I've been hearing this a lot in readings too. Your psychic abilities are going to begin expanding. They're going to begin expanding and opening up to these other aspects of yourself. I always love to throw this out here. Our eyes can only see 0.0035% of natural light, which means that what you're looking at when you just look at yourself, not energetically, but just physically looking at yourself with your physical eyes, that's only 0.0035% of who you are. So there are so many other aspects of yourself. You express yourself in so many other ways. And a lot of you are in simultaneous expressions in other star systems, and you're starting to tap into these things. I'm like shaking because I'm getting a lot of energy right now. I apologize if that's throwing anybody off. It's a part of my human design, and I've learned to accept it. But you're beginning to tap into these higher aspects of yourself, and these higher aspects, yes, in these higher realms, where the impulses of the highest light frequencies and the deepest unconditional love are coming in. So this energy is really going to give you an opportunity to expand. And I do want to talk about that too. If you end up seeing this today or tomorrow, there's a 369 portal that's open right now, and this is really, I think this is coming in with this, like all these dragons are like funneling through because there's a portal open and they're taking advantage of it. And by all means, if you're here to help, come help. So they're coming through because they're trying to give us more opportunities to tap in with them in these higher frequencies. So that's really, really neat. This is also asking or giving us a more opportunity to integrate our feminine aspect, male or female, incarnate. This is asking us to integrate, or giving us bigger opportunities to integrate this feminine aspect of ourselves, and giving us more opportunity to be creative, to actually be manifesting what it is that we want to create too. So yeah, there is so much coming in with this energy, so much coming in with this energy. So the Eight of Cups, the first thing that this thing is talking about is just cut your losses. And you can see here with this person down here, they're stretching for this cup. Everybody else is fine. And the thing is they already have a cup in their hand. They literally already have a cup in their hand. And they're reaching for this cup here. Why? For what? For what? She still has 3 cups up here. And everybody else already has a cup. So why are we reaching for this cup when we already have one? This is really asking us, I think, to look at what it is that we have going on right now, what it is that's going on right now, what are we attaching to emotionally instead of connecting to and recognizing where the benefits are, where the contrast is, taking everything with grace and gratitude and moving forward with it. This is really, really asking us, giving us this opportunity, and more opportunity, I should say, to really take a look at what it is. And this is going back to this Knight of Cups energy, where it's giving us more opportunity to see the truth of how we love. This is asking us, if it's not vital for our survival, to let it go. Especially if we've already got something here in our hand, it's not really worth reaching for that and then missing out. Look, this person's also missing out on what's going on over here. That is interesting too. You think that you're missing out because you're losing this cup here, but really you're missing out from the connections up here because you're so attached to this cup here. Ooh, yeah, that. Definitely a lot coming in there. I'm going to see what the book says about this card. I feel like I pulled a lot from it already, but... Eight of Cups, the 9 daughters of Ran. The Norse goddess Ran, wife of the sea god Aegir, is a typical northern sea goddess with cold emotions and no pity. She uses her nets to catch the souls of those burned on funeral boats or drowned while sailing. Ran's 9 daughters follow their mother's way, calling up storms and causing sea disasters. The beautiful daughters dance wildly over the waves until the ships sink and the sailors drown. Then they trap the souls of the dead men, dragging them down to their underwater prison. Here the 9 daughters hold their chalices of rebirth. So there is celebration here. There is celebration, but look, still, while while there's rebirth going on here, interestingly enough, there's still this one that's holding on to this attachment. So the dragon is really coming in here to say, pay attention to what it is that you're doing. No, try to just be more observant. Just be more observant of what it is that you're doing, because while these people are over here celebrating and ascending, essentially, this person is still vibrating at a lower level and hanging out in this lower level, looking for more when there was already enough. Yeah, this is asking us to just cut our losses and get out of a negative situation. something that feels like it's controlling. The dragon is trying to help us guide us through this, help guide us through this feeling like we're out of control or that we need to be fully in control. So both of those things. So we are a little seemingly out of control to an extent until we start finding our alignment with our authentic selves and understanding what it is that we're doing here. And then you start to recognize where you do have actually full control on a higher level. But then going into this needing full control in this dimension, it is not a good thing to be going through. I was listening to something the other day. I think it was a channel message from Bashar, and he was talking about the need to have all the details lined out and why that's not actually beneficial and why it actually takes us longer to achieve the things that we're trying to manifest because we're wanting the details to go exactly how we want them to go. And that requires so many other things to be manifested in the process. Whereas if you're manifesting something and you just leave, instead of trying to figure it all out, you leave the math to the universe, things that you wouldn't expect to unfold for you would unfold for you. But then the key here is to continue to follow those things that excite you the most, the things that vibrate the most for you, in the most positive way, so that you can more quickly through your intuition navigate how to get to these things, to your manifestations. All right. So yeah, I feel like a lot of energy came in with this, although I was a little thrown off by the beginning, but I guess this is just really asking us to tap in with our, not just tap into our emotions, but become in tune with them and just recognize what's going on. It says cold emotions and no pity. And I'm thinking about the Lady Gaga song, Dance with My Hands or something. I won't cry for you. I won't crucify the things you do. Yeah. That. I won't cry for you. I won't crucify the things you do. So yeah, this is really like asking you to become a little less attached to the emotions that you have for people and asking you to, and inviting you and giving you more opportunity through the energies that are coming in to just be able to see the energies for what they are and to recognize people, like where people are at in their current phase of their journey. And instead of taking pity on them, because in that moment you're actually giving them control, instead of taking pity on them, really seeing the energies for what they are and how they're playing out in your reality and what they're trying to tell you, the energies from the situation, which the Queen of Cups energy from this dragon energy coming in is going to help you be able to see those with that psychic abilities opening up. You're going to be able to see the energies a little bit better for what it is instead of getting stuck in the emotions. Yeah. So that's really great. All right. Now I'm going to read this last one for the Six of Swords because it actually, I was wrong. It is not a phoenix, although it really, I didn't think it was, but it looked like it to me because of the fire and everything else. So, but it is not. This is actually a Japanese ho-ho. And this book says that this magical bird lives in the upper world, or heaven, and makes an earthly appearance only on special occasions. This is reminding me of the seraphim because I think that the beings that are up there are described as like phoenix, which I think is really cool. It's the violet flame or something. I don't know. It makes an earthly appearance only on special occasions. So this this is that, that dragon energy coming in only on special occasions. And guess what? You're the special occasion. That's what's really great. According to the legend, a young girl embroidered a pair of ho-ho birds into a silk tapestry. When the evening sun touched the silk birds, they came to life and carried the young girl to the land of immortals. The golds and reds on the card illuminate the ho-ho's connection with the sun. Its connection to the upper world is shown by the multitude of spirals. The ho-ho swords offer protection, and its magical presence creates a positive space of balance and rest. Interesting. So it wasn't what I thought. Now it's interesting because these swords are coming towards the bird, but it's still saying that it's protecting, which is really an interesting concept to look at. But yeah, like I was saying before, it kind of just does this rebirth thing. So that is actually a protective state to allow you to break down your reality and rebuild it. Oh, yeah. Because the next thing it says is that you will travel across water or move from one place to another. There could be visits from distant friends or family. Any move you make will be positive. So this is bringing in a lot of positive energy to help guide you onto your next steps, which you've already laid out for yourself. You're just waiting for the vibrations, waiting to pay attention to the vibrations that are there to guide you along. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Really cool. Really cool. So I was going to do like a bunch of decks here. I think that it's gone pretty long though already, so I will do a few. And then I will I'll just do a few that I'm guided to right now. So I am going to do the Sacred Traveler deck because this was I'm really being pushed to do this one. All right. Dragons, what can you offer us from this Sacred Traveler deck? I didn't like that. What can you offer us? What are you bringing in with you to aid us in our journey right now? Ooh, my phone just lit up at 9:54, so there's 99. Ooh, what's interesting about 99? What they're telling me right now, I don't know. Somebody might be able to do something with this. So 99, and let's talk about adding and then multiplication for a moment. So when you add 9 and 9 together, you get 18. And then the number in numerology, once you break that down, is 9. And then when you look at 9 again and you multiply 9 times 9, it's 81, which when you, again, in numerology break it down, it's 9. So there's definitely some 9 energy coming in with this reading. I feel like there might be one more card in here. Dragons. I'm tapping back into you now that I've talked about the 9s. Woo! Yes, I see you. I feel you. What can you offer, or guides, what can you help us navigate to understand here with this energy? What's going on? What next steps are coming? especially because we're talking about travel, some kind of travel going on with the Six of Swords energy. What is here for us? What is here for us? I feel like I need to do this one more time. This card seems to keep trying to come out, and I think there's actually two here, so we'll go with this. I don't know. I think they're asking me to be a little bit more intuitive right now instead of waiting for them to fall out every time. All right, so taking shelter. The answers are within. Yeah. So they're really, really, really asking us, or helping us get to this space within that we're looking for, where these answers are really here for us. We already have all the answers to questions we've ever asked. We're asking questions because we already have the answers. Desert passage. Trust there's a divine plan. Oh, I'm hearing a few songs right now in my head. I'll build a boat in the sand where they say it never rains. I will stand up in faith. I'll do anything it takes. Your wind in my sails. Your love never fails or fades. I'll build a boat in a desert place. When the floods and the water starts rising, I'll ride the storm 'cause I got you by my side. Your wind in my sails. Your love never fails or fades. I'll build a boat so let it rain. Yes. That one, and there's another one. And it talks about how I know I'm not alone on this desert road, or something like that. But yeah, there's a divine plan, and even like I was hearing earlier, like on another reading, that we really need to be reading a lot more of Genesis and how the first fathers really came to, fathers and mothers came to these covenants with God, which we're all creating right now in every moment. And when you really tap into those higher frequencies, that's when you make these higher covenants. And when you start getting these higher guidance. Yeah. So, and then just trusting there's a divine plan. So yes, there's this, our guides are asking us, this is not the dragon energy here. Our guides are really asking us here to trust that it's going to look a little rough right now. It might look rough physically, or it might look rough mentally, emotionally, where you're like on your own, or where you're at is a little challenging to navigate at the moment. But just knowing that there is a plan. So this goes back to this Queen of Cups energy too. They're asking you to really trust and surrender to your intuition and to your guidance, because that's what's going to get you to this divine plan. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. Okay, so yeah, this one I've been feeling a lot of. And I guess when you go to travel, don't bring too much. So if you're traveling or if you're moving, don't bring too much. Try to downsize, because maybe you'll be traveling a lot more. And so you really won't have much to hold on to anyways. There's nothing to hold on to because you're going to be moving around a lot. Maybe you're going to become more like a nomad instead of being stuck where you're at, or feeling stuck where you're at. And this, again, could be physically or mentally, emotionally. Like this is a lot of clearing energy that I'm getting from this. Like whatever, again, what's not vital for your survival, let it go. It's, and that just depends on what you're being called to do right now. And you'll feel that within. You'll feel that impulse to get rid of a bunch of stuff if it's physical stuff, or you'll feel that impulse to get rid of a bunch of internal stuff, do that internal clearing. I've been getting these impulses like all year so far. It's just clear it out. And what was really interesting when I started clearing out my internal stuff, just getting it out, in whatever way, shape, or form I could in that moment when it popped up, I started seeing people in my physical reality start clearing. So it was actually happening on multiple levels, where I was doing it internally and I was watching other people doing it physically and externally. And both are good. I mean, it's whatever you're being called to do in this moment is what you need, but what would be receiving the best guidance, I guess, in the moment for you to step more into who you are. Answers are within. Yeah. Answers are within. And the less clutter you have, the less you have to deal with in your life, the easier it is to start getting these answers, because there's a lot less chatter going on about all the other things that you have going on. So yeah, just make things simple. Like if you've got people that are trying to challenge you in your life, let them go. Let them go. Move them out of your life. Maybe this is also a movement out, movement in, movement out. Like just find what's simple. For sure. Find what's simple for you. What is in the flow? I'm feeling really pushed to do these Divine Feminine cards right now, because there's a lot of water and I felt like feminine energy here, and there's something coming through, like these dragons are here to help balance the feminine energy. They're bringing in some kind of like neutralizing power, it feels like. Just harmonizing, I'm sorry, not neutralizing, but harmonizing power, because we're not trying to really get rid of anything. We're really just trying to bring it into a harmonic coexistence. Yeah. So what from these feminine aspects can you offer us? All right. That one just flew out as I was trying to put the thing down. So we will definitely take this. Green Tara, the Buddha of enlightened action. My soul informs my every step, and I do what my heart compels me to do. Yes, this is going back into that Queen of Cups energy, and the answers are within, and knowing that there's a divine plan, and what I was talking about earlier, where your higher self has definitely got things under control. It's just our lower self, or whatever aspect our human self, that just does not fully understand or recognize that from a linear perspective. So if we can start to bring ourselves within and opening up these abilities, yeah. Yeah. I'm going to look at these in just a moment, but I think this is really cool. All right. Khadijah, the mother of believers. I am spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. Ooh. Again, divine plan. Yes. This is really bringing in a lot of like energy to kind of like solidify. And I've had this happen a few times in like the last year, where I've had energy surges come into something happens and it solidifies everything that I've been tiptoeing around, understanding, and then there's an overstanding. So, and I've been feeling this, like there was a dip in the energy yesterday that I felt, and I recognized it before, so that's really what I was picking up on, is that there's going to be something that comes in to solidify the things that you're beginning to tap into, and that's going to be these psychic abilities here, more than likely. Rabia, the queen of saintly women. I am in service of divine love. I move the way love asks me to move. So this again is going back to this too, like I do what my heart compels me to do. And I channeled something for a very dear friend of mine a few weeks ago. He mentioned, well, I'm supposed to be doing this right now. And I kind of laughed because it triggered me in a way, because I feel like I should be doing things all the time. And it didn't trigger me that, like he said, it was the reflection of that. Like I felt that inside of me, I guess. And how I felt that way before. And what came out after that was that there's nothing that you're really supposed to do other than follow your heart. Listen to your heart, because that's who you are. So there's really nothing you're supposed to be doing at any point in time. But if you're doing something from your heart, then you're always where you're meant to be. You're always and regardless, you're always exactly where you're meant to be for the present phase in life in which you're in. But it aligns you with your God self, basically. And so then you're always within your divinity, and you're always, quote, divining everything. You're seeing the energies from what's in front of you. Yeah. I am going to read the books on these, because I don't really know them all that well. All right. So yeah, I'm definitely reading these from the book, because I have not really even heard of these beautiful divine feminines, and they clearly were saying a lot. So we're going to start with Green Tara, the Buddha of enlightened action. So Green Tara embodies the emboldened state that overcomes fear and allows us to take action on what we know is right. Yes. Tara is a female Buddha in the Vajrayana Buddhist tradition. She is known as the mother of liberation because her name is derived from the root, to cross. Tara assists all beings in crossing the ocean of suffering to liberation. So this energy coming in with this dragon energy is, whoop, yeah, this card is like on fire. It is really, really strong for helping you with the answers that are within, for sure. Oh, yeah. Especially with learning to love. Yeah, I like how these are all lining up like this. This card really had to come out so that it could do that. That was funny. According to the Tara Tantra, eons ago, Tara incarnated as a king's daughter. She showed such spiritual excellence and such profound compassion that she impressed a group of monks. They told her that they would pray for her to be reborn as a man so that she could reach enlightenment. She responded by enlightening them. Ha! She told them that there's no such thing as male and female. The ideas, projections, and expectations that we superimpose onto the male form and the female form are not real. They are contrived. Form is emptiness, and emptiness is form. Tara vowed then and there, before all the monks, that she would remain a female Buddha for all lifetimes until all beings were liberated from the illusion that a person's sex determines their ability to become enlightened. Oh, yeah, I'm like really feeling this energy right now. Tara has 4 different types of enlightened activity and divine attributes, depicting symbolically through the colors red, white, black, yellow, and green. Green Tara is Tara's embodiment of compassionate action, or, enlightened action. So compassionate action, which means to see all beings free from suffering, which would then mean enlightened action. How interesting. Her green color signifies vigor and vitality, and I would also say the heart chakra. Her mudra also, which is this here, this two fingers like this. This mudra represents vitality and the purity of our life force, the prana mudra. Prana is the breath. She is the action we take from a deeply rooted place within our heart. She is the energy that seeks to act in alignment with what will free us as we liberate others. So this energy is coming in and activating that portion of you that allows you to open your voice, use your voice, or whatever you actually express yourself with, music or dance or whatever it is, writing, anything, whatever you're feeling called to do. It's dropping those fears so that you can free yourself and others at the same time. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This card was supposedly selected because this is that sacred nudge to get moving, to do what it is that your soul compels you to do, which is literally what I just said. Don't sit with an idea or a project any longer. Take action on it. Don't think about a friend who keeps coming into your heart. Go bring her dark chocolate or send her a love letter. Don't wait to express your love to someone you've needed to. Go now. Tell the truth. Let your feet be moved by what has been caged within you. Let your wisdom shift into inspired action. Tara is the message that the time for action is now. There's nothing to wait for, and no person you need to become before doing what you've come here to do. Start small. Let the soul lead, not the ego. It's not the grandeur of the gesture or effort. It's the amount of love something is done with that ever matters. I'm going to repeat that. It's not, let me go back. Start small. Let the soul lead, not the ego. It's not the grandeur of the gesture or effort. It's the amount of love something is done with that ever matters. There are so many injustices in the world, so much suffering, that it's easy to get stuck in the molasses of helplessness. The brilliant Burmese diplomat Aung San Suu Kyi says, if you're feeling helpless, help someone. Green Tara is about aligning what moves us to tears with compassionate action. She's the push to do something, anything that might alleviate the suffering of others. In the process of taking action with love and from love, we also liberate ourselves. And this is a major energy that Jesus was pushing on, really was pushing on, is helping others. And that's a huge path. That's a huge path for awakening to the self and starting to recognize who you are. And I can't remember the name of it right now. It might be Karma Yoga. I might be really wrong with that, so please don't quote me on that. That actually is focused on that, actually focused on helping others. Really cool. All right, so the next one we're doing is Khadijah. And this was on page 113 in the book. I don't know, that's a 5, so I don't know if that's really important. I've also been getting a lot of 13s in my reality, and I highly recommend looking up the spiritual meaning for that. It's very feminine, actually. So if you're feeling called to do that, I highly recommend it, especially if you're seeing a lot of 13s in your reality. This is on page 56, so 11. Khadijah is the power we all possess to be aware of the spiritual realm and fully immersed in the material world. So to be in the world, but not of the world. Oh, I hope I don't butcher this. Khadijah bint Khuwaylid was a widow in Saudi Arabia in the 6th century. She became a wealthy merchant who was deeply respected and known as Al-Tahira, the Pure One, or Al-Kubra, the Great One. The Great. It is said that with her wealth, she fed the poor, provided for her children from her first 2 marriages, and took care of her extended family. Khadijah had a dream shortly after hiring a young merchant named Muhammad to work for her. In the dream, the sun descended into her courtyard, fully illuminating her home. Her cousin told her that this meant that the prophet would soon grace her doorstep. She realized that her new employee, Muhammad, was the prophet, and so she asked him to marry her. They were married for 25 years. She is regarded as one of the most important female figures in Islam, followed by her daughter with the prophet, Fatima. It is said that when Muhammad told Khadijah about his first revelation from the angel Gabriel in the cave of Hira, she was the first person to convert to Islam. Muhammad remarried after Khadijah's death, but was never closer to a subsequent wife than he had been with her. She was his constant confidant and partner. Oh, yeah, and there was more talking about love coming in other cards for sure. So this is actually really cool. If this resonates with you as far as coming in and finding somebody that aligns with what you're trying to do or what you're being called to do here, go back and see how you're loving people and see how maybe you're connecting with this person. Can tap into that and connect in and see. Don't attach to it. Connect in and see what's going on there. This card was selected because there's an ancient narrative and a destructive misunderstanding that if we are going to be spiritual, then we have to renounce the material world. That's not true. Not true. We are here in this earth experience. We should be taking the curriculum. We should be understanding what it means to be human and learning the beauty and the value of that and the magnificence of that and how wonderful it is to experience world in such a sensual way. And I say that not sexually, but in a way that we actually are able to perceive it with senses, because it heightens things in a way that we actually can experience instead of in an emotional way and instead of just a conscious way. Oh yeah, really cool. The body, however, is the soul's chance to be here. So yeah, again, do the curriculum. Take the curriculum. Be here. If you're on this spiritual path and you are totally detaching from the world, this card is really calling you to come back into the world, to be a part of the world, not of the world, but in it. Don't get stuck in the worldly things, but recognize where sorry, this card, this thing just did something weird. The body, however, is the soul's chance to be here. So a healthy relationship to the material world is crucial and integral to reaching our spiritual potential. Yes. And this actually, I just heard abundance. This actually is really, this energy coming in is helping us really tap into these frequencies where we're able to, especially those that have a less than preferable relationship with money, how we have been relating to it maybe is not been preferable, as I said. So maybe we don't have as much as we maybe could utilize for what we're trying to do right now. And And that's, again, because of how we're relating to money. Everything in our realities are reflections of us. So money, the energy frequency of money, that transference, that is a piece of us. So like, I'm having to learn how to integrate and align this frequency, because I've not had the best relationship with money in the past. It's getting better. It has gotten better in the last few months, because it's something that I recognize that it was a piece of me that I have not been relating well to. Everything, like, if there was nothing else, if there were no other people, if there was nothing else, we would have no understanding that there was a self. There would be no capability of understanding there's a self. Only through other things and people are we able to recognize that there is a self and there are others. And this is really asking you to go out into the world so you can start to feel more of yourself. Especially through the reflections that other people will provide for you. Khadijah represents the power and importance of knowing we can provide ourselves, or provide for ourselves. This power gives us roots and confidence and allows us to create relationships from a place of interdependence rather than codependence. We can cultivate the capacity we have to create more and more freedom for ourselves, and we can make choices for our life based on truth, not just survival. There's also a false, which is really cool because, again, going back to the answers are within. There's also a false idea about when true love will find us and how. Yes, that's a really good point. Khadijah liberates us from fairy tales that we need to be saved or supported or provided for by our life partner. Khadijah provided for the prophet, and her older age and significant status in the community made her more attractive, not less. She was a middle-aged businesswoman and single mom. She was ripe with resources and ripened with opportunities to love. Living into our true power and purpose does not make us less eligible. And so here, this is asking, this energy coming in is helping you dissolve those concepts of, in the beliefs that you have, that you stepping into who you are, while it may not seem logical, are really, like, this is going back to both of these cards. If you're following your heart, it's not logical, right? Because the brain does the logic. The heart does not. The heart does impulses from God. She lets us remember that we are worthy of abundance measured in gold and the abundance measured in the depth of our love. Yeah. Beautiful. All right, last one. Oh, this is a lot longer than I was expecting, but that's cool. There's a lot coming in here. Rabia represents a rare, pure love that doesn't seek anything other than simply to love. Rabia al-Adawiya was one of the most influential Sufi women in Islamic history. She is a Muslim saint and a Sufi mystic who lived in the 8th century in Basra, present-day Iraq. On the night she was born, her father had a vision of Muhammad. He told him, "Your newly born daughter is a favorite of the Lord and shall lead many Muslims to the right path." When Rabia was still just a little girl, her father died and she was then sold into slavery. She would pray every night to be released so that she could spend the hours of her day in service of Allah, the Arabic word for God. When her master overheard her prayers and saw that she was illuminated with the light as she prayed, he realized she was a saint. He released her immediately. She went into the desert and worshipped in solitude. Rabia became known as the queen of saintly women because of the purity of her love and devotion to Allah. She set forth the doctrine of divine love known as Ishq Hakiki. Her poetry emphasizes her desire to worship for the sake of loving Allah and not for the personal gain. In one of her poems, she says, "I carry a torch in one hand and a bucket of water in the other." She wants to set fire to heaven and put out the fires of hell. So that love seeks no gain except to be in service of love itself. She explains, "I do not want to worship from fear of punishment or for the promise of reward, but simply for the love of Allah." And that is really, really, really important. Like, I really want to bring this up because there is mention that we should fear the Lord. And I really want to bring up what that particular line means, because fear means, in one definition, to have, like, to be in awe or have profound reverence for something. So in that regard, I do fear the Lord, but I am not afraid of. And so that's where this is really what she's tapping into, is not being afraid of something and not being desiring of something, but just wanting to be the authentic self of love and light. Just wanting to be that for no reason other than wanting to be authentic, to wanting to be more of who you are. And this goes back to this Eight of Cups energy with this person reaching for this cup that's going away, even though they already have a cup. Yeah. So this card was selected because in her lifetime, Rabia embodied a freedom that that divine love offers us. If we see her life as a metaphor of the soul's progression, she went from slavery to sainthood by devoting herself to Allah. Her only concern was the love that she could give to God. Her every action was motivated by her devotion to God, and through it she received the greatest spiritual gift, self-realization. Although it can be very difficult, loving without expectations is a profound spiritual practice. I really want to emphasize that because I've been given the opportunity to do that in the last month or so. And this really, really, really opened me up to so much of who I am and how I love people, all people. And the different kinds of love that I have for, like, say, my family or, the people or my, just different kinds of love that I have, but still the reasoning for that. What is the reasoning for the love that I have? And again, going back to what I was saying earlier with, like, are you loving someone because of what they can do for you? Or are you loving someone because of what you can do for them to help them reach their happiness? It's a big shift. It's a big shift. Divine love is unconditional. It's a love that seeks only to love. No hidden agendas, no strings attached. And I totally feel that. Rabia relates in one of her poems, "Prayer should bring us to an altar where no walls or names exist." And that, yes, it's formless. It goes back to what Green Tara was saying, where form is emptiness and emptiness is form. No walls or names exist, which I really want to chime on just a little, because there are so many different names for source. And I think that as long as when people are tapping in to source energy and whatever they choose to call it, as long as that intention is there, it is fine. But if the intention has not been there for someone in the reality because they don't necessarily understand what God is, There's some noise going on behind me in the woods. And the talks are like, nope. But if we have that and don't really know what God is, then when we're tapping into whatever someone else is telling us to tap into, maybe it's not. Maybe it is something else. So that's something really interesting to consider too. Each time we are able to love someone or ourselves without conditions to that love, we arrive at this altar within us. We free them and ourselves. We remember what Rabbi knew so well, that to love just for the sake of loving lets the divine act through us. Yes, beautiful. I really just want to pick up a few more cards from a few more decks. I don't know why. I feel like this reading is so long. But there's so much coming out. I do want to pull some karma cards because they're sometimes, you'll get sign synchronicities from these cards as to like timings of energies coming in. I really recommend not holding attachment to these cards, but I have had them work pretty well for me. So dragons and ancestors and source, what can we really receive from this deck from y'all? What signs, synchronicities, planetary influences, what are we looking at here? Especially let's yeah, okay, that works. Something to help us better understand like this divine path, this desert passage that we're on, that we're like needing to go within for at the same time. They're really asking us right now to stop relying so much on other people's interpretations of what you're asking for advice for, but to really, really, really tap into there's half truth in everything. So to really tap into the truth that comes out, and to even though the intention from the person that's giving you the message may not be aligned with the message that comes through itself, this dragon energy is really coming in to help us pull ourselves out of the emotions, release the attachments from the situation that's at hand, and to just listen to what's going on. Just listen. Let the heart vibrate. Let it help ring out the energies that are coming in for you, like the things that are for you. Let the heart register that. All right. Anything else you can offer us from this deck? We would greatly appreciate it. I feel like there's like one or two more in here. I'm not supposed to be judging what's happening right now, so that one. Interesting. All right, so this one is about relationships. You can, with this, I would say to pull in from the card what resonates, because sometimes I get like all of it will resonate with me. And sometimes only one or two lines will resonate with me. So definitely for this card, like whatever you are feeling right now in your reality, let it vibrate for you. So this is about relationships, and it's bringing up the beauty of relationships. And I was just talking about how we relate to the world, how we relate to things. This energy is really going to open up the beauty of how you relate to the world and the universe. And it's saying to do it with your partners, to expand on this with your partners. partner or partners. And this does not mean it has to be romantically. This can be soul tribes expanding together too. Soulmates soulmates are not always romantic. So this is just really, really opening up for that. I'm going to flip this over, and it's talking about cooperation to perfect the decisions about whatever it is that you're doing, or resulting from the fairness shown by something that's happening. So cooperation, that's the word that's really picking up for me. Cooperation, again, this comes back to doing it with your partners. Doing it with your partners. And this is in Libra, which is like the scales are here. So this is bringing into balance. And I'm hearing bringing into balance the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. I'm hearing that very strongly. There's also going to be another portal opening up, I'm hearing right now, on September 6th. That's another 369 portal opening. So, and that would be right before this Libra season. So there's another portal opening up that's going to, I think, bring in masculine energy, because we're doing feminine right now. This is really cool. So these scales are coming into balance. We're looking to balance the feminine side within us, the feminine aspects within us right now, where we are finding this beauty for life because of how we're learning to relate to the world. I can't tell you how many times I've cried just because I've recognized how beautiful like life truly is, even though it seems so disgusting sometimes, like to pull yourself fully out of that, to then recognize the purpose of it all. It's overwhelming at times. So yeah, there could be a lot going on in Libra for you. So late September, October, there's a lot of energy that will be expanding. So you'll have like this whole time, I feel like there's a few months here where you have, you're going to have this journey of integrating your feminine aspects. I'm hearing this lashing out energy. I've channeled about this a few times, but this lashing out energy that's happening, some people might call it the Lilith energy. I'm not quite sure if that is fitting or not. It might be. But this lashing out energy is what I can call it. It is a feminine aspect. And we are really being called to integrate this lashing out, this lower vibrational energy, this need to have that other cup, even though we already have one. So that's really, there's balancing going on, especially. So even if this isn't a time card, there's a lot of balancing going on, and it's really asking us to recognize how we relate to the world, but not just do it alone, to also do it with others, like really expand others, which is, again, this green Tara energy here. All right, houses. The 11th house. So, yep, we're talking about portals opening for sure. And this is bringing in freedom by associations and your circle of friends. So this, again, going back to cooperation and doing it with partners, you're building something right now. You're building something. You're building a boat in the desert where they say it never rains. You're doing it because you're feeling that guidance, and it's happening. You're coming together with your soul tribe. I've had other decks that bring this up quite often. For humanity's sake. For humanity's sake, for the sake of God, for the sake of loving God, source, all that is, literally, for the sake of loving all that is, for humanity's sake. Like this group of people that's tapping into this right now, we came here for humanity's sake, and we know that. We've 100% recognized this at this point. And for some of you, if you've been on a similarly different journey that I've been on, you'll see how, like, you will have seen how it's been very difficult, because you recognize how everything you've been through is not really for you, it's for everyone else. And so it's really, you're having to break down these constructs of you came in here in alignment. You came in here in alignment. You had not been really distorted by current other expressions. And so you had moved away from those frequencies long ago. Star seeds, yes. You moved away from these lower frequencies long ago. And so it's been a hard time because you've been in them and you're not really here to learn for yourself. You're really actually here to learn for other people and how to do it so you can help them. Yeah. And for me, like, this really resonates with me because, like, this has been, like, a huge dream for me for a long time. Like, I didn't really manifest small things. I've been manifesting this big dream for a long time, and it's slowly making its way, but it's so big that it's taking a lot of gears to turn the tables. And that's totally fine. It's totally fine. It doesn't matter how long it takes because we're already on the way to doing it. It's already been done. We're just aligning ourselves to the path. So, and we're doing it for the future. Yeah, we're literally, like, we're here for humanity in the 11th house. Very interesting. Pluto. So maybe Pluto in the I don't know. Can Pluto ever be in the 11th house? I need to do more with astrology. Let's see. Okay, so this is, so let's talk about, well, I just looked it up. So Pluto in the 11th house is this transit is a time when your long-term dreams and hopes shift dramatically. While you may have been content with certain dreams before transit, now you either want more or want something else entirely, and your social life may go through rather drastic changes. So yeah, you're being brought in with a major energy for alignment into who you are. Major energy for alignment. And it is going to shift you all the way around. And I did a reading the other day for the energies that I started to feel come in last week, and what came out was the Wheel of Fortune and strength. And so it was really asking for us to hold strong as these tables are turning. It gets a little rickety, and we have to keep strong and keep holding strong and pushing forward in order for the tables to continue turning. Because if you stop, if you break down, if you revert back to older frequencies instead of evolving forward, you will turn the wheel right back to where it was and go through the cycle again. Now, the good news, though, is right now the quickening, this quickening is happening, so you can repeat cycles very quickly. I've seen cycles repeat the next day. If not, it would be the next week. So these things are actually happening very quickly right now. There's a few more weeks in which you're able to fully utilize this quickening without more coming in. So if you're noticing a lot of karmic situations coming up, or what seems to be karmic situations coming up, something that's asking you to really let go of or expand on in order to embrace and embody, now is really a great time to do that. And just recognize that this energy coming in with this dragon energy, no matter when Pluto is transiting through the 11th house, what's coming in is the energy of Pluto transiting through the 11th house. So you will see these changes coming up. Yeah, because you're you're being asked and called to let go of this need for control, which I've mentioned a few times, and an obsession with, or a power struggle. The obsession with a power struggle, the difference between the higher self and the human self. It is a struggle. It is. And this energy coming in is going to help us to change that struggle to a challenge. And we all love a good challenge, do we not? So long as it is for the sake of evolving. But it's going to help us with this need for control. This resurrection is happening. This rebirth, which was what I was pulling in with this card. And what I was saying earlier, where you allow your reality to crash down around you so you can rebuild it. Get to the heart of. So definitely come back to the heart of the matter, how you're loving, how you're living, and this do or die, you must. I think this really coming in, what I'm receiving with that is you're not going to die. But, I mean, well, we all die, but it's not saying that if you don't do what you're being guided to do that you'll die. It's just saying that if you do it, you're actually living. And if you're not living. So that's really what it's saying. And so if you want to live, you must do. I mean, you must do. For sure. Oh, man, that is a lot that just came out of, like, what? Okay, I guess that was 16 cards, but that's a lot that came out of those. But I'm still being pushed to do this last deck here, even though I have a few more, but that's not, I'm being guided to stop after this, but I'm being pushed through because there's some messages from your higher self that are trying to come, that want to come through. So this would be like your higher self trying to guide you right now. This is more personal than ancestors, and I'm using the deck The Universe Has Your Back. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the deck. And so we're just asking Source to help our God self channel through these cards right now, so that we can get a better understanding of what's maybe going on, or what we can do pushing forward, knowing that ourselves have our back, that we are in control from some level, so we do need to release the need for control from this lower dimension. All right. I feel like there's one more, maybe two more popping here that want to come out. Your higher self really has something to say to you about a few things, actually. What do we got here? There we go. Knew it was coming out. All right, so the first one that came out, my vibes speak louder than my words. This is not saying my actions speak louder than my words. This is my vibes speak louder than my words. So for communication, people that study communication and understand that it's an art recognize and have spoken on how it's the way that things are perceived when we speak. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And so communication, actually, about 70 to 80% of it is nonverbal. It is actually vibrational. And so one of the things that Jesus did for sure was come in with love. Love was louder than anything else. Love was louder. And so you might be saying something that's totally accurate. But if you're coming from a place of panic or a place of defense, you're not really saying very much to people, especially if you start yelling. I know that when I've been yelled at, I don't really hear what's being said. I just hear how it's being said, and I shut down. So if we're trying to say stuff here. We really are trying to say stuff here. But what we're really trying to say is love. Literally everything that we're trying to do here is reverberating love regardless of what's being said. So this your higher self is really, really asking you to pay attention, again, to how you're loving, how you're vibrating when you're speaking the words that you're speaking. They could be almost as true as they could get, but how you express yourself changes everything, because perception is everything. And the perception's in the eye of the beholder, not you. So this is your higher self's really, really, really asking you, like maybe there was a situation that happened in the last week or two where you were given an opportunity to express yourself in a group of people or for an authority figure, where you maybe seemingly were backed into a corner or didn't want to do something, but you had an opportunity to express yourself in a higher vibrational state, and maybe you didn't. And what you're saying might have been very accurate, but the way that you were vibrating, nobody was going to listen to it anyways. So your higher self's really, really asking you to tap into this. See what's going on. See how you're loving. The moment I embrace my peace within and surrender the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly get to work. And that's so true. I've been channeling this from my higher self. If we stop trying to to work the figures, to figure things out like a math problem, if we stop doing that, then we can actually allow the universe to work its math, to allow the numbers to unfold instead of you trying to figure them out. So releasing control, releasing this need to control, understanding, trusting there's a divine plan, trusting the process, and going within. My peace within, the answers are within. So when you start, this energy is really bringing in this opportunity, this major opportunity to step into who you are. To step into who you are. Yeah, like really, really, really. I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. Yeah. Your higher self is really asking you to look at things that have been bothering you, where the contrast is. Yeah. Definitely asking you to pay attention to your triggers. Definitely asking you to pay attention to your triggers. And love them. Accept them, because this is where you have those moments of growth. They don't call it growing pains for nothing. And even if it's more spiritual than physical, or mental, emotional than physical, those pains are still there. I mean, you still have to look your demons in the eye in order to see what they even are. How can you defend yourself, or like even how do you know how to combat something if you don't even know what it is? You have to look your demons in the eyes, and you've got to understand that for how far down you've gone emotionally, spiritually, is how much farther you can go in the other direction. And just as a very strong tree, their roots must go down very deep before they can expand up very high. In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. And this is coming up. We're here at the end with Rabia again, and this doing it for God, doing it for the sake of love, literally for the sake of love, for the sake of humanity. because it came out on both of these, for the sake of humanity, the sake of love. Like, this is, and remembering this too, remembering this. In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. So even when what you would think is bad things are happening, that's the universe trying to put you on track. That's it. And the only reason why we have issues with stuff like this is because we attach ideas or beliefs or emotions to it and don't process it out. Instead of connecting with the moment that happened, we attach to it and never process it. And so then that's where PTSD can come in, and it just comes right back. And then it's like twice as bad the first time, and then it's 3 times as bad the next, and it just keeps escalating because you're then piling more on that you're not processing. So to recognize that even in those moments where things seem a little bit off or awful, either way, it's God trying to bring you home. That's all it is. And so those are your messages from your higher self. So yeah, wow, there's a lot of like really cool energy coming in with this dragon energy. Like, I just am blown away. So it's really like it's opening you up more to love. And I think that's really like these love vibrations are going to be what help expand you psychically. And that's definitely, I've been expanding my heart center I've been doing it for a year actively, but this last month or 2 has been major when it comes to expansion. And so this energy is newer. Like, this is a newer energy that came in. I was really pushed to connect in with it today and ask what's going on. And this was really what I was getting from it. So I really enjoy when the cards come out the way that I've been receiving the messages anyways. So yeah, you guys, like, really enjoy this dragon energy coming in, because they're really here to offer these opportunities of expansion for the heart and the third eye. So, I think some amethyst would be a good thing to get in this time. I'm also hearing lapis lazuli. Those 2 things would be really good to help raise that frequency with you a little bit more. So yeah, I'm definitely going to stop there now because it's been a lot. But I really hope that this really, I don't even know. This was great. Like, this reading was amazing. I'm totally grateful and completely honored to be able to offer this, to share this message, because this is some really great energy coming in for the collective that is focused on humanity, that is here for humanity's sake and recognizes that, or they recognize they didn't come here to learn lessons for themselves. They answered a call. We answered a call. There was a call that went out across the universe that said, hey, Earth is in this final stages of this transition here, and we want to know who wants to come to help. We want to know who wants to be expressed in these, or who wants to express themselves again in these times, or these frequencies that allow more people to, like, more of the collective to be able to become collective in the consciousness, to allow the evolution of consciousness to be more worldwide and more global rather than just being regional like it has been in the past for different societies, or even where it's been able to come in and then kind of get stamped back out again. We have an opportunity now with this frequency that we're coming into, where we're not only expanding consciously, but even on a physical global level, where we're able to communicate on the 3rd dimensional linear level. And we're able to, there's just so much opportunity here for us, and that's why we chose to come. So, this energy that's coming in is really awesome. I'm totally excited to be tapping into more of this. Yeah. So I hope that y'all are in a beautiful, peaceful place, finding the answers within and the peace within. The peace within. All right. Well, that was such an awesome reading. So, yeah, until next time, everybody, highest light frequencies and deepest unconditional love to you all, and take care.